Mon Heron, Mesdames et Messieurs, welcome to the Vincent Charles Project. I'm your host, Vincent Charles, and tonight we're going to have some fun. So let's get straight to it. I'm going to introduce my guests. First, a lady who needs no introduction, but I'm going to introduce her anyway. You know her, you love her, Miss Janelle Waz. Janelle, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, although there's vultures everywhere.
This place is full of vultures. Oh God.
Just the line reading on that line.
Oh, dude. One of the best parts of the movie. That dude, the
Yeah.
pickpocket. I love him. Gotta love him. Our next guest, yeah, that's some idea how this show's gonna go, people. But anyway, my next guest needs no introduction, but I'm gonna introduce him anyway, and I already used that line because I'm kind of impaired. Glug glug glug. Mister Ordnance J Packard. Ordy, how you doing, brother?
Fantastic. We've got Lionel Hutz running the show tonight. I'm doing fantastic.
Hi, I'm Troy McClure.
You made me remember me. Never mind. I am too. I'm doing Di Serrano and iced tea. It's the best sweet tea concoction you can imagine.
Okay, yeah, I gave you the note-taking gif on that one. Yeah, I need to actually go to the store and buy a bottle of Di Serrano.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
it's
have any.
nice. Yeah, with iced tea, I mean, it's better than any sweet tea I ever had. Everybody from the South, send your letters to Vincent Charles Project, care of. Anyway,
Send them to Vincent Charles Project, 123 Fake Street.
AL5 6438.
Springfield.
Springfield, USA. Yeah. And anyway, for those who don't know, and why wouldn't you know? Because I tweeted it 3 times today. The topic of discussion today is the classic film Casablanca. You either love it or you hate it. There's usually no middle ground with a movie like this. It's opinions on it are polarizing, and that alone gives me pause. I mean, this is a movie that has absolutely everything in it. It has romance, it has action, it has intrigue, it has comedy. Every beat, every trope is in this movie. And there are a lot of people who are like, yeah, I could do without it. Well, okay, fine, whatever. Oh, and this has to go on there. Jeff, don't you dare. Because then I'll know how many people hate me, and I don't want to do that. Anyway, I have my notes here somewhere. I actually made notes for this. First of all, today is Hollow Peeve Day, and if we could take a moment and remember the many Bothans who died to bring us this information. So, happy Hollow Peeve. Okay, now let's get into it. World War II. World War II. The subject today is not. I don't want to say taken seriously these days. When I was growing up, because I was born in the '60s, and my formative years were in the '70s. That's only a 30-year difference. It was a lot closer to home. People still remembered things. I remember a lot of my older relatives, my grandparents and my great aunts and my great uncles, were still in the mindset. It's like, I'm not buying anything German. I'm not buying anything Japanese. They still had that level of hatred in them from what the Axis powers did during the war. And today it's just like you mentioned World War II, and people today look at it kind of like, I don't want to say not seriously, but it doesn't hit them as hard as it should. If you follow me.
It's detached in time. It'd be like, talking about Romans. It's just, for some people, so far along. But with you and me, Vincent, a lot of our it's like before the G.I. Joe cartoons, our GI Joe action figures still had the M1 helmet, the M1 Garand, or carbine. Everything was still World War II. A lot of the TV shows were World War II centric, blah blah, Black Sheep, shit like that. So it was still popular. It was still in our culture. It's like when we talked about when we were
it was still part of the zeitgeist.
Sansa Iwo Jima, that was a movie that came out.
It was a movie.
1949. Well, that wasn't that long after. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's but it's we were talking about on some other podcast you and I were. I think it was on the on Manorama. We were talking about that big ass play set for all your army men, the Guns of Navarone play set.
Oh yes.
So all of it was still. I mean, all the models we had were World War II era destroyers and battleships and everything. So yeah, it was watching for our generation, watching Casablanca, we still have kind of a touchstone to it. It's World War II was probably the last big event in our history that we learned in school, and so I mean that's where history was kind of like solidified at that point. Everything else was still in motion, more or less. At least that's my take.
Oh no! It's a very valid take. I mean, you voiced it a lot more convincingly than I could, but yeah, that's the reason I have guests, because I'm stupid. I call upon smart people to carry the conversation along. But when I already know Janelle's story, but I want to know Ordy's story. When was the first time you saw this film, and what did it do to you the first time you saw it?
Yeah, the first time it's not like I wasn't impressed with it, but I'm pretty sure it was and we were talking about it before the show. I'm pretty sure it was on TBS or something along those lines. Yeah, right when cable came along. It wasn't on HBO. Yeah, it wasn't getting the play on HBO. So probably in my very early teens, maybe even like 10, 11, when TBS first hit the scene, and then then Ted Turner colorized everything after. And then I watched it at least once a week working in video stores in the 90s.
Okay. What was your impression of it the first time you saw it?
The first time it was,
I mean, did it like wow you, or were you just like, you watch it, and the more you watch it, the more you appreciate the little nuances and the little things about it?
First time I watched it, it felt like a homework assignment. But after that, I've started, and once it became one of the benchmarks I used to judge a lot of film of that era and a lot of tropes moving forward. Because like you talked about, this had everything in it. This was one of the inventors of a lot of the Hollywood tropes. So you learn coming later, I've realized that it was more and more groundbreaking the more I've learned to appreciate the nuances and the cinematography and everything else. Music selection, art direction, set design, all of it. I can pick out and go, this was really pretty revolutionary across the board in a lot of ways. But that took years to develop. Before, like I said, it was just a homework assignment, much like when you made Janelle watch it.
No, that wasn't a homework assignment.
No, it was more of a demand, because I'm gonna lay it out for everybody in the audience. All right, Janelle,
I'm about to get roasted.
No, you're not going to get roasted. You're going to be gently raked over the coals, as gently as I possibly can. Okay, so let's get
seared slightly.
Yes,
medium rare.
But anyway, Janelle has a lot of DVDs in her collection, and suffice it to say, Janelle hasn't watched a lot of DVDs that she owns. And I remember it was a few months back we started. Was it the discussion we had about that one Trek episode you did? The DS9 episode with Quark?
That's why I started watching Casablanca, was because I was like, oh, I could do a video on Profit and Loss, and I could also compare it to Casablanca, which I have on DVD. No, it was an earlier podcast. I don't know. I looked off to my DVD shelf, and I'm like, "Well, I think you're giving me crap for never having seen Casablanca." And I said something like, "Would you believe it's actually on my DVD shelf right
Oh
now?"
yeah, and then I lost my shit. I was like, "What? You what, mate? What?
Hey,
Are you
same thing happened
serious?
with
What?"
same thing happened with Hunt for Red October too. So,
Oh my god, yes. And then
because I was like, "Yeah, I should really watch Hunt for Red October at some point." And you're like, "You what?"
see, at some point, you never got around to it. What you need to do is you need to take photographs of all your
Yeah,
videos, and then send me the photographs, and I'll say, "Have you seen this? Have you seen that?" And then yeah,
yeah.
because
I
you need
still need to watch Die Hard with a Vengeance too.
to.
You know,
Ordinarily, I would.
Got that one on my shelf.
Yeah, ordinarily I would say, nah, you don't really need to, but Jeremy Irons is just so friggin' good in that movie. You need to watch it
Yeah.
uh,
because
he is.
I could watch him read a grocery list, and I'm like, yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah.
But
I'm invested.
Yeah.
Can't wait for him to get to produce.
I've seen some people, and I'm gonna, track over to Star Wars for a second, but people have fan casted him as Grand Admiral Thrawn, like if Disney wasn't in charge of Star Wars and they could actually adapt the Thrawn trilogy, and it's like, yeah, I can kind of see that. He's got that right voice, that kind of cold, calculating kind of presence.
yeah, he's definitely got the.
I
He's got
probably
the
would have cast
gravitas
Tony
for it.
Jay, but because that voice, Tony Jay's voice, I probably would have casted him. But
Yeah, but who did they end up casting?
that
Was
wasn't Mads.
Lars Mikkelsen? Yeah, Mads Mikkelsen's brother.
Oh,
Yeah, yes, he is his brother.
See, and if we hadn't recently lost Julian Sands, I would have said he would have been great for that too.
Oh God, yeah.
Which one's Julian Sands? I feel like I know that name.
Yeah, he's in one of your.
I never
Grey-
saw Room with a View.
Oh, okay.
I had to read the book. I don't think I made it through the
And
book.
I'm not even going to ask you if you saw Warlock or Warlock 2 because I know you didn't.
No.
And I don't know if we went
Julian
into the,
Sands is the Warlock. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, nobody else could. But if depending on how far you made it to SG1, if you watch the final seasons with the Ori, he was like the head Ori back in their galaxy.
Yeah, I skipped the last couple of seasons of SG1.
Either. So you have no frame of reference. Julian Sands is a hole in your memory.
I know the name, but I don't think I recognize him from anything. Unless he was in a random Star Trek episode, be like, he was that
I
guy?
was going to say no. She never saw. Room with View. She never saw Warlock. I know, sure as shit, she never saw Boxing Helena.
No.
Do I want to know?
No, you don't.
Okay.
That's pretty much Wild at Heart, but British.
Yeah, that's being kind. That's being very kind. But yeah.
And a little bit of Dexter involved too. So.
Yeah.
So see, there we go. Often
He's a
tangents
name
again.
that's just out there
Yeah,
for me.
he did he did a lot of television stuff in the 90s. I know he did a mini series based on a Stephen King book, one of the less popular ones.
Oh, okay.
And I can't remember. I think it was Rose Matter. I think
He was apparently in Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Fun fact.
Oh,
There you go. All the greats do VO work.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. Derailed.
derailed. Yeah. So, Janelle,
I don't mind derailing. I just object to a cut rate 1. I don't know.
Okay, we'll give you partial credit for that.
Yeah, that was half-assed.
You tried, and that's the important thing. Anyway, Janelle, what was your impression? Your first impression on seeing the film?
I think I remember getting like about 15 or 20 minutes into the movie, and I'm like, this is already better than most of the stuff that's come out in the last 15 years. And then I got to the end of the movie, and I'm like, we have to protect this movie from Hollywood at all costs. Like remakes, reimaginings, don't do it. Well, the DS9 episode Profit and Loss, okay, but other than that, protect this movie.
Absolutely. And
And
then in the green room, before we went on the air, I brought up the unfortunate prequel, sequel. I don't know because I haven't seen it.
I'm trying to find it.
But
I don't know that it exists.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said I do not acknowledge that such a thing would exist.
Well, see, in the
Those movies that it can be parodied, but I believe even Hollywood treats it as sacrosanct.
Several attempts have been made to continue the story, primarily through novels and treatments, apparently. At least that's according to Google.
Well, thank you, Google.
At least nobody did it.
yes,
For real.
And
See, in my head canon, the Maltese Falcon has always been the prequel.
Oh no, Pedro Pascal is Rick.
what?
I will burn the world down if they try to do that.
Oh no.
Oh my god, I would.
Okay, Timothy Chalamet is Rick.
Oh,
No.
what?
No.
Okay, you're just. See, here's the thing: when you say those two names, with playing Rick, Rick would be sitting in the cuck chair in the hotel,
Oh no.
watching everybody who worked at the bar service Ilsa, while he sat and chain smoked cigarettes. That's
why we have to protect this movie at all costs.
yes,
Chain.
exactly. I'm sorry, what was that, Ordy?
He said he'd call in Victor Laszlo to start and finish that chain, too.
Oh, Jesus. That is if they actually cast a man to play Victor Laszlo.
Oh.
You know, one thing I'll say about Casablanca, and I
Victoria Laszlo.
Bella Ramsey is Victor Laszlo. But okay, you were saying, Ordy?
So one of the things about Casablanca is, and I mentioned Wild at Heart earlier, and I know I've told you the Wild at Heart bet we used to have in college. Casablanca is one of those movies I cannot not smoke while watching.
Oh, seriously?
It's the immersion.
I'm
no,
smoking right now. We're talking about it.
Yeah, this comes from the beautiful days of Hollywood when everybody smoked.
Mm-hmm.
As Kevin Kline said in Soap Dish, I'm old enough to remember when doctors sold cigarettes on TV.
Yeah.
Oof.
And see, we were thinner. We were happier.
Absolutely true.
But, and nicotine is one of the greatest aids to concentration ever devised by man. Seriously, you give two guys a pot of coffee and a carton of cigarettes and 48 hours, and they will come up to the solution to most of life's problems.
Give them some cocaine and they'll MacGyver that shit in 30 minutes.
No, give them cocaine. They'll come up with another 80s sitcom like Alf.
That too.
Jesus.
Do not speak ill of Alf. Alf is bad. Hog for it.
Oh my God. And I was waiting for the Simpsons references.
But yeah, I guess Max Wright had I think he had like a cocaine issue. And even went as far as to attack the Alf puppet like on set. He really hated that puppet.
True cat. All right, so I talked in the green room. I talked about a hot take I have about Casablanca. I'm just gonna have to drop it.
Wait,
Yes.
Alf is Victor Laszlo?
Yes. Okay. Something after having watched it 1,000 times that's been bugging me. It finally hit me while watching it. Ingrid Bergman, while being a timeless beauty, impeccable. Apparently, the only thing she's really produced of any value is Isabella Rossellini because she could not act her way out of a wet paper bag.
Yeah,
Mm.
I won't disagree with that. I think Ingrid Bergman is more remembered for uh, I hate to say it, but being a bone addict slut than she is an actress. Yeah, she.
Well, it's funny you say that because I was looking through her, I was just perusing to see if there's anything good I might have seen her in that I just forgot. And I was looking through her married divorce dates. And apparently this was like contractual with MGM or whatever at the time
Yeah.
because it was always the divorced, married, same year.
Oh man, I'm looking at it now. Yeah.
But the thing is, you look at Peter Lorre and a couple of the other actors in this, same thing. It must have been contractual with the studios.
Huh.
So anyway, yeah, I had to put it out there. Ingrid Bergman, not a good actress.
No.
The only other thing that I know she did was that Joan of Arc movie, but I never watched it. So I have no idea if she was good in that or not.
I know she did a lot of French and Italian films.
Yeah.
During the 50s and 60s. The only big thing I remember seeing her in was she was in a version of Murder on the Orient Express, the one with Albert Finney. He played Poirot, which was a very good movie, but it's not like she had a really difficult part to play in there.
To be honest, the woman who played Yvonne was much more convincing in their role.
The guitarist too. She was.
And the guitarist.
Because when they started playing La Marseillaise, she was getting into it.
Yeah.
She was going all out, and well,
wasn't a big fan of how she played guitar because even then I'm like, oh, but still, I guess it works.
Okay, now you got me fast forwarding the film, wanting to watch your guitar technique.
Halfway up the neck.
And no capo. What the hell?
Yes.
See, and the reason I said that is because, well, some of you may know. I know Orty knows. I usually put a movie on as background noise when I'm doing a podcast, whether I'm doing my own or whether I'm guesting on somebody else's. And invariably, the film is always Casablanca, because I don't think I've taken the disc out of the DVD player in several months now.
Why would you?
Yeah, truth be told, I don't have anything. No, I'm sorry. I took it out of there. I took it out of there last week.
Medicine Man?
No, I have the box set of the Nero Wolfe series from A&E with Timothy Hutton and Maury Chaykin, and I watched all 5 of those discs. I watched the entire series all the way through, and then after that, I put Casablanca back in again.
Viva Cucaracha.
Okay, Wano. Ingrid Bergman's film *The Seventh Seal* was sublime. I think it's more.
Was she sublime in it?
Was
it a good movie, but like she was like passable, or was it good because she was good?
I think it was more sublime because of Ingmar Bergman's direction than Ingrid Bergman's acting. But different strokes.
Yeah.
We can disagree on things. Unlike some, but you don't like this movie? I hate you. I hope you die.
Oh,
God, I love that fandom. I love the angry fandom.
Oh yeah.
It is. Yeah, it generates clicks, but yeah, I really have no use for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just happy pondering the pettier things in life.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like
Beverly's ghost boyfriend.
Oh, Jesus! Don't even get me started on that. I'm gonna throw every Beverly ghost meme I have at you.
And there are many.
As soon as I post about Beverly's ghost boyfriend, it's like, oh, notification from Vincent Charles. Yep.
There are entire subreddits
Oh yeah.
based on that, and that's where I snaked most of those memes. And there's some of them I cannot post because they are, yeah.
My favorite one is
Yeah.
the Carol one. Tonight you will be visited by 3 ghosts.
Yes. Giggity. Let's talk about the plot points for those in the audience who may not have seen the film. The film takes place in 1941, shortly before the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, because at this time, America is still neutral during the entire conflict.
Figure that's a very narrow window too, because that was on the 7th, so that's a 6-day window.
Yeah.
The movie takes place over 2 days, so why don't we just say 4th of December, 1941?
Okay, fair enough. But if you haven't seen the film, well, first of all, see it, but we'll try and lay it out. There's a pair of couriers who are traveling in the desert who are murdered for letters of transit, which is the only way to officially move from port to port, city to city, in Nazi-occupied France. And these papers have been signed by, General de Gaulle, which means they can't be questioned. You show them to somebody, they let you through. Bingo. And somebody has murdered these couriers for this paper. And they go to Casablanca and they intend on selling them for an incredible amount of money. And they would get an incredible amount of money because so many people are stuck in Casablanca. They can't leave. They can't go anywhere. And, they're looking for a chance to get out. And then the plot moves to Rick's Cafe, where you meet Rick, Humphrey Bogart. You see him doing his daily thing. He sits there and plays chess with himself and drinks. And
it's like looking in a mirror.
It's a living.
Yeah, but trivia tip. Humphrey Bogart was actually rated as an expert chess player and played chess by mail with GIs who were overseas.
Huh.
Before they made him stop doing it, because he was playing chess by letter, quotes, to around, I think it was like 65, 70 GIs. Wow. And they said it was taking up too much of his free time. He needed to concentrate. And I'd be like, fuck y'all.
Yeah. I'm
having fun. Fuck y'all.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so get fucked.
Exactly. But
it's not USO, you humps.
Man, imagine if he was around during online chess.
Oh my god, he'd be going nuts.
Have like 20 windows open. He's playing each one.
He'd be like Bart Simpson. Checkmate.
No!
He lost 8 games at the same time. And where was I? Yeah, he was playing chess. He finds out that a man named Ugarte, played by Peter Lorre, has something to do with the couriers being murdered, which is why he has the letters of transit. So Ugarte asks Rick to hide the papers in his bar. He says, only for a couple hours, until my buyer shows up, and then we'll be on our merry way. So Rick agrees to this. And then, let's see, Major Strasse, a German officer, shows up in Casablanca, and he's met by Captain Renault, the prefect of police. They exchange pleasantries, go to Rick's bar, and Strasse shows Rick everything about him that he knows. It's already in a notebook, because Rick did some gun running in his salad days before he opened a bar. And then Ugarte gets
Spain.
I'm sorry?
and he fought against the fascists in Spain.
That's
Yes.
right.
And got well paid on both occasions, according to him.
The winning
Yeah.
side would pay him more.
Oh, I love you too. I do. Thrown in quotes. But hijinks ensues. Ugari gets arrested, and they start looking for the papers. And they're like, "We know Rick has the papers. We know they're in there. Ugari was here." And as it turns out, he hid the papers in the piano. But that's towards the end of the movie. And then Ingrid Bergman and her husband, Victor Laszlo, war hero, escaped from many concentration camps. He's all the rage in Europe. He shows up at the bar. Nazis want to keep him in Casablanca. They don't want to let him go. So he's going to try and buy the papers. So he goes to Rick because he finds out Rick has the papers. Rick says no. Laszlo says, why not? Rick says, ask your wife.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Snap.
And he
Because
says, what?
that story. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Well, actually, you can carry on because I'm like getting too impaired to carry on with the storyline. So take it from ask your wife.
So the backstory is that Ingrid Bergman and Humphrey Bogart had a torrid affair back in Paris as the Nazis were invading France and were 30 miles outside the city. And was that?
Judging by the artillery, yeah.
Judging by the artillery, German 77 millimeters, if I remember correctly. So, so unbeknownst to Humphrey Bogart, Ingrid Bergman at the time was married to Peter Laszlo, and he was in a concentration camp, not expected to escape or survive. So they have this torrid love affair, and then she finds out Victor's still alive as they were supposed to get on the train and leave for Casablanca. So there's the backstory and the reason why he forbids Sam, the piano player, from ever playing as time goes by. And he redeveloped his drinking habit in the middle of the night for a day. So anyway, that's the backstory between Ingrid and Bogart in this movie.
Okay, right. I had this question while rewatching it.
Yes.
How old is Ilsa supposed to be? Because I know Bogey looks like, well, I know he's supposed to be 37, but he looks like he might be pushing, I don't know, 45, 46.
Yeah, I'm going to say he looks old for 37.
Yeah, that was a rough 37 years.
Yeah.
She had commented, because he had asked, where were you 10 years ago? And she said, probably still in braces.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put that she may have been early to mid 20s.
Okay.
So flash forward 3 years, she's still well in her 20s.
Right. So she's still fairly young.
Yeah.
And he just looks super old.
Well, it's Bogart. He looked old as an infant.
Yeah,
like Sean Connery, too.
He came out of the womb smoking 2 packs a day. So yeah.
It's like, it's like how Patrick Stewart never had hair.
Oh, man. Patrick Stewart looked, like middle-aged until age hit him.
No, seriously, it's the Patrick Stewart effect, and I have undergone this. From the time he was 20, he looked the same all the way until about 10 years ago, because today is his birthday. He's 84 today. Up until the time he was like in his early 70s, then everything went to everything. The years just caught up.
Yeah.
But from 20 to 70 in a 50-year span, the man did not change.
That's because there's a tasteful townhome in a cul-de-sac in Scottsdale, Arizona that had a portrait of Patrick Stewart in the attic.
The picture of Will Riker. I don't know.
Yes, they were paid a great deal of money to take very good care of that picture.
The picture of Ronan the Candle Ghost.
Oh, Jesus. Stop. Yeah, going off topic again. Yeah, like we've done for most of this show. I told you about that little thing they had in Star Trek Online.
Yes.
Yes, you actually get the candle. And when you actually get
Yeah.
the candle, Ronan shows up. A green
Jeez.
tinged ghost shows up and starts beating the shit out of anybody you're fighting.
I thought you were going to say start sexing everybody up.
Uh, no, but actually, if you have the holographic Doctor Crusher in your away team, he gets bonus points for beating everybody up,
Of
Jeez.
course he does.
and you get I think you get like 25% more experience. I guess that equates to some kind of like bumping uglies with a ghost, maybe.
You're not Nana. Nana's dead.
But anyway, back to the show. Oh Jesus! See, I had notes. I wanted to take this seriously, but I
Oh.
can't.
You knew what was happening when you had me and Orty on.
I knew the job was dangerous when I took it.
They bought their tickets. They knew what they were getting into. I still let them crash.
It's certainly an e-ticket attraction. Oh,
Yeah.
Hope you don't mind my derailing the conversation.
Mind if I derail this? So yeah, we were in the middle of discussing the plot. We had just caught up to why Rick has such animosity towards Victor Laszlo and everybody, really.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he has so much animosity towards Victor Laszlo. I think the target of his hatred is definitely Ilsa.
Yeah,
Well,
Victor's just connected with her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and, you know, because you look at the way he interacts with Victor Laszlo. There's admiration there. There's genuine admiration for what Victor Laszlo has done.
Yeah, and before
And
Ilsa came into the picture, he was speaking kind of highly of him, like, oh, he made a name for himself all over Europe. You know, he escaped the concentration camps.
yeah,
he's
exactly.
a freedom fighter all over. Yeah. Yeah.
And then, you know, he finds out, you know, they're married, and well, I don't think the admiration for Laszlo drops, but there's definitely he still doesn't think much of Ilsa, and
Yeah.
you know, put yourself in his shoes. I think any man would feel the same, unless
Yeah.
you know you were into that, and I've been a few people who are, but that's a subject for another show. Uh,
It just ends up being a really crappy situation for everyone involved.
oh, absolutely.
Like I'm probably a little more lenient with Ilsa because she didn't know Victor was dead, and then she, you know, she's sad, depressed, meets Rick, and she's starting to live again. Although it was kind of his fault for getting involved in a relationship when she said no questions. Like, no, you need to ask questions if you're gonna to date someone like that. But anyways,
It's very Parisian.
is it?
Yes, it's very French.
I'm like, no, I have questions here. Why can't I ask you
Like,
questions?
questions? Why are you asking questions?
Wait, but she
You
gets involved with
Americans make
Rick.
my ass twitch.
But she gets involved with Rick. She's starting to live again, and then finds out her husband isn't dead. So she's probably thinking, crap, I cheated on my husband. But Bogey here's pretty hot too. So she's kind of in a crap situation. Rick's just there, you know, found a girlfriend, and then she dumped him with a note.
Yeah, Rick's loving life, and you know he's like, "Oh, we're gonna get married when we get to Marseille." And boom, 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 rah, 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 and then he basically gets dick kicked when Sam shows up at the train station with the letter. And
Read this note.
yeah,
You are Lisa
By
Simpson.
the way, here's a note.
and the water hitting the note, making the ink run.
Oh, I noticed that.
Oh my god!
It's like tears.
I'm telling you,
Can't
it said.
cry.
And
I'm
dude,
tell-
you can't talk enough about Sam. Seriously,
No.
he saw that shit happening, and he's like, "Come on, Mr. Richard, get on the train." And he literally picks him up and drags his ass
Yeah.
onto the train.
He offered to
And-
drive him around town when he was getting drunk off his ass.
Exactly. We'll go
Let's get
fishing.
fishing.
It's like, get drunk, go fishing. Yeah, okay, grab the poles. Let's go.
Have a cold one with the boys.
Well, that would have been me, but Rick wants to sit there and brood and say, dude,
Play that song.
uh, I mean, I can understand wanting to, at some point in every relationship, or at least, in one relationship you've had, you want to sit there and you want to suffer just for a little bit, just to get everything out of your system. It's like, you want to drink and you want to hit the table and you want to, rah, 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 do the drunk guy thing. And then you
Right.
get it out of your system and you move on.
Yeah.
That's a natural part of most men's lives.
Sure.
When you think
Dealing
about
with
it,
For a week
dealing with
and
the loss of a relationship and that kind of rejection.
and Rick probably got over it until Ilsa walked in the door of all the gin joints and all the however that line goes. I'm kind of blanking out right now.
Exactly.
And then he starts up his drinking problem again.
And then they meet outside, and then the
That
guy selling
lace she was-
lingerie.
That lace she was looking at, that lace fabric, that was fire. I want that lace fabric. I'm
Did I
looking
say
at it like,
500?
damn, I want that.
It's like, did I say 500? You can have it for 2. I was like, that guy was awesome.
Dude,
I
buy
would've-
it.
700. Then Rick shows up. Oh, friend of Rick's 500. Then a minute 200. Then they're
100.
100.
100.
Wait, I have more stuff. Let me go get it. And then we never found out what other stuff he had.
I know.
Like, you made your sale, I'll buy your lace.
And I mean, the store said lingerie, and she started looking at lace tablecloths. I mean, come on.
Oh, does lingerie mean something
it's-
else in French?
No. The sign said Roi de Lingerie, king of lingerie.
Yeah.
So buy something from him. He's the king. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Especially if he's offering you something for only 100 francs. Because at the time, I think 100 francs, before they redid their money, 100 francs was about maybe 75 cents, 80 cents, less than $1.
Damn.
So, yeah.
He's the whiz.
He's the king of lingerie. Hail to the king, baby.
I was thinking Seinfeld with that guy Elaine dated that was like, well, what was he selling? But he was the whiz, and she's like, nobody beats him. He's the whiz.
Okay, I normally don't laugh at Seinfeld stuff, but yeah, I'll laugh at that one.
Oh.
And then, okay, we got to the lace part. Orty, take us home.
Oh, let's see. So
Just burn through it because we got about
We
15
didn't-
minutes.
We didn't even get into Renault. How do you pronounce his name?
Captain Renault.
that
Captain
was-
Renault.
he was fantastic in that. So okay, so yeah, throughout. So one, unfortunately, Peter Lorre wasn't in it long enough because he's just fantastic in it. But neither was his character. I did like the line about he committed suicide or was killed while fleeing. I haven't decided yet. I'm filling out the paper.
Oh, yeah. I thought about that episode of DS9 with the Maquis, where like the Cardassians had that videotape of the guy that they're like, oh, he killed himself, and it was like a confession to his family or something. Except
Yeah.
Cisco's totally not convinced that he killed himself. That's what I thought of randomly while watching that scene.
Yeah, that's one of the tropes.
Yeah.
From Casablanca. It's
Yeah.
I hate to use a line from Elam Garrick, but it's insidious how many tropes are in common day use that sprung from this film.
Yeah.
And it's
I was
amazing.
thinking about that. Yeah,
I don't mind tropes. I just don't like cut rate ones.
Yeah.
There we go.
You're not going to let that one go, are you?
No, I'm holding on to it.
God, that was a fantastic line too. Okay, so moving forward, so you've got the they're outside the Blue Parrot, who's the seedier bar in town, run by the slave trader. He's basically the amoral quark, and then this whole plan is hatched to get Victor Laszlo on the plane and get him and Elsa out, and it kind of just all culminates with Rick kidnapping Renault, so that way Victor and Elsa can get on the plane. Renault tries to play a fast one, pretending to call the airport, calls the major. Major shows up. Victor and Elsa get on the plane, take off. Rick shoots the major, and then him and Renault walk off into the night, saying this is the start of a beautiful friendship because they're both leaving Casablanca.
Yeah, because they've made Casablanca too hot to hold them, so they're heading for a Foreign Legion post in Brazzaville, which trivia will tell you, Brazzaville is 4,000 miles from Casablanca. So it's not like they can just go to Brazzaville. Yeah. They're going to need that 10,000 francs to get to Brazzaville because it's at least a 5-day trip. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Ishtar. I know that that's quite the hike.
Apparently, there was a sequel in development called Brazzaville.
Ooh.
It was planned but never produced.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how they could. I mean, this is one of those. The thing with Casablanca is the story's done. It doesn't need a prequel. It doesn't need a sequel. Everything you need to know about that story is completely encapsulated, and it's done. It doesn't need any more.
See, that's the thing. There's another film like that, the first Star Wars.
Yeah.
The first Star Wars was a completely encapsulated film. They didn't need to go any further, but look what happened.
Then you got Disney.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you my theory about that?
No, please do.
Sometime around 1970, George Lucas killed a man, and in that person's belongings was the script for Star Wars: A New Hope and the first half of Empire. And that's why it all falls apart after that. Because it was somebody else's work.
No, I thought it all fell apart because he couldn't adapt any more Kurosawa films to steal from.
Also true. But
maybe we can adopt Ron. No, wait, that's King Lear.
If you know kind of too, the original screenings were absolute shit, and George Lucas's wife went in and unfucked everything in production.
Yeah, she deserves the lion's share of the credit for that. The entire franchise being as popular as it is.
Right.
Thanks to her editing.
It's like, I mean, if you watch scenes with Dirk Starlight or Biggs or whatever, and yeah.
And in answer to your question on the big screen, does Victor still love Ilsa at the end? I think he loves her more. I don't think he loves her. I think he's in love with the idea of being in love with her because of what she did, especially what she did while Victor was there.
He can't really look at her the same way again.
Yeah.
He doesn't buy Rick's story about how, she did this whole act to tell me how she still loved me, and I let her play along with it. And no, he wasn't buying it.
Yeah,
But he's like, thank you for the papers.
I guarantee you Victor is going to be dealing with Elsa's resentment and regret for the rest of his life.
Oh, absolutely.
Somewhere around Lisbon.
I'll tell you, alternate ending.
On the Clipper to America.
Alternate ending to Casablanca.
Yes.
Well, and then she goes back to Casablanca to find Rick, but he's already out of town. So
hope you don't mind my dropping in. Not at all, sweet cakes.
Yes, there is an alternate ending to Casablanca, and go to YouTube and type in alternate ending for Casablanca. It's awesome. It's really awesome. That's all I'm going to say about it. Anyway.
So
watch out, Rick! He's packing heat.
One of the other this movie, aside from Ingrid Bergman, is everybody else who delivers a witty line in it does it with a smile, like a normal person. You know, everybody's got that kind of low-level smirk when they know that they just dropped a good burn or something clever. You can't completely hide it from your face.
Right.
Humphrey Bogart does not. He's got some bangers in that, especially when he's talking to Peter Lorre. And nothing. Just absolute stone.
Yeah.
Well, he loosens up at the end in the final scenes. When he's
Yeah,
talking to Elsa. But yeah, during the thing about everybody else laughing, um, they actually make it look so convincing. I don't think if they tried to make that today, everything would seem forced.
right.
It's
Yeah.
for a film this old, everything just comes off as natural.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
If you follow me, I mean, you watch
Yeah.
the interactions between all the characters. Yvonne gets drunk and starts ripping into Rick because he doesn't want to see her anymore, and then she comes in with the German, and then fights start and all that stuff. Everything
Mm.
seems nothing seems forced.
No.
It's
Yeah.
all just like this natural flow from one event to the next event to the next event, and it's amazing. This film is amazing. I'm sorry, but it's
No, it
you
really is.
you go to people's top 3 lists, this film will be in it, regardless of position. Although,
Something. Oh,
no, go ahead.
okay. Something that kind of stood out to me. It's you look at a lot of movies today, and everybody's got to have this deep backstory, right? Like even if you didn't want a backstory, you're getting a backstory. That's why we have Solo, a Star Wars story, right? But like you don't know a whole bunch about Rick's past. You don't know why he's in Casablanca other than something happened in New York. Like they don't get into the details about what happened and you don't need it in this movie. Like it works without it.
Yeah, you don't know why he had to leave Europe either. I mean, yeah, he was
Right.
running guns in Ethiopia and he fought, against, Franco in Spain.
Right.
But that's really all the character depth is it. And that's the deepest character of in this movie. Everybody else is just you're watching this 2 days in Casablanca and that's it.
Yeah.
If you were just a patron of Rick's and just happened to be bounding around town and running into these people all over the place. I mean,
Right.
that's how this movie flows. So yeah, totally. It's completely natural. The line delivery is natural.
Mhm.
And even, like I said, the knowing smirks when somebody gets a good burn in or whatever. The only people who don't are Rick and the German because the stick up their ass has a stick up its ass.
Well, you need straight men.
Yeah, it's just the best line for me in the movie is when Captain Renault asks Rick where the papers were. And he says, "Oh, I hit him in the piano." And he looks at it and says, "Serves me right for not being musical." I lose my shit every time he says that. I mean, where else would you get a line like that? I mean,
Or when he's talking about when they tossed Rick's place, and he's like, "Yeah, I told my guys to be extra
extra destructive.
destructive because the Germans like that stuff."
Oh, jeez. Uh, everybody out there, if you haven't seen it, at least give it a shot.
Yeah.
And
And you talk about Renault had some of the best lines in that movie too.
oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
just I mean, the cliche. I am shocked to find out there was gambling in this winning. So thank you.
My parents would quote that line like growing up, and I didn't realize it was from Casablanca until fairly recently. But he goes like, "I'm shocked." Usually that's all they would say. But yeah, but I just thought it was like a family saying it. And I was like, oh.
Or,
And then he takes his winnings. "I'm shocked. There's gambling. Here's your winnings. Thank you."
Right.
or the other line, when they're talking to Signor Ferrari at the Blue Parrot, it's like, getting you out of Casablanca would take a miracle, and the Germans have outlawed miracles. And
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
that's a good one.
I can't do a good Sidney Greenstreet, but yes, he sounds out of breath like this, and it hurts my throat when I do
Which is funny because you do French.
that. Oh,
But we were also talking in the green room about the music in Casablanca. Did we mention it during the podcast, or it was just in the green room?
No, it's just in the green room.
It
yeah.
was just in the green room. Because when they sing La Marseille, I never got goosebumps listening to La Marseille in the past. When I watched it in Casablanca, I was like, "Holy crap!" I'm feeling things just listening to these people
It
sing La
does.
Marseille.
You get a chill
Yeah.
from it, especially like I told you. All of the people, all of the actors, well, most of the actors and extras had fled France when
Yeah.
Germany invaded, and they were all in there, and they're actually singing. They're full force. They're putting their heart and soul into it,
Yeah.
and it shows. And it's just an
Yeah.
incredibly moving moment.
Yeah.
And let's call it what it is. That was that was the start of the trope of the Battle of the Bands, because you got the Germans in the bar singing Deutschland, and then they with a nod from Rick, the band starts playing the French national anthem. So it becomes this kind of shout out for a minute, and then the Germans just sit out and shut the fuck up and let the rest of it play out. They knew they had nowhere to go in that scene.
It's like a whole other battle going on right there.
Yep, exactly. It's a microcosm of what was going on in the real world.
Yeah.
And it's
This
awesome.
isn't Europe. This is not occupied.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I think the war wasn't going very well at that point, because that was before America came into it, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty much you're talking Battle of Britain time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was not going well for anybody.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Aside from that weird mustache dude.
Yeah. Yeah, he was having a ball. But anyway. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and we're going to call it a night. But before we do that, Janelle, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter, YouTube. I have a YouTube channel where I talk about Star Trek, video games, whatever else I feel like talk about. It's at Janelle Waz, JANELLEWAZ. And, check me out, support my YouTube channel. I'm working on growing it. And I can also be found on Instagram if that's your thing.
Okay, if Instagram's your thing, you know what to do. Orty, where can we find you, sir?
Well, shit. Thank you for asking. You can find me as Ortis Packard on Twitter. Still, I know that's weird. Oh wait, we gotta call it whatever.
You're due for a new account, aren't you?
Just long past due. But you know what? Maybe that might have something to do with. Anyway, Elon. He just rather than just get rid of me, they find new ways to fuck with me daily. You can't get me to quit. Let's see. This week you can find me on
smoke them out.
On the Manorama podcast on Tuesday night with Vincent and Rick, and hopefully Jeff will make an appearance, some random Canadian, and of course Steve. Wednesday night you can find me on Rick and Orty with Rick. Thursday night I'm off. Friday night I'm off. Saturday, if the mothership has reliable power again, we will try the juxtaposition episode, our bi-weekly dive into the strange and unexplainable this weekend, hopefully. And that's about it for me. How about you, Vincent? Where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at YesThatVCharles, and you can find me here every other Sunday on the Vincent Charles Project. And Tuesdays, you can find me on Manorama, along with you, Ranker Steve, the lovely and effervescent Rick Robinson, some Canadian guys, and other assorted individuals. So, I'd like to thank you both for joining me this evening, talking about a much-beloved film. And I'd like to thank everyone who listened, all 352 of you. You people amaze me that you actually listen to me. But I look forward to the pleasure of your company next time. So until then, au revoir and thank you.